Hi guys, welcome back to James Montreal beer reviews. Sort of continuing with my Canadian IPA sequence of beer reviews. I wasn't really planning to do it that way, but that's what it's turning out to be. Next IPA I have, and it's not the last one still, it's called Mad Tom IPA, and it's from the Muskoka brewery, which is an Ontarian craft brewery in Bracebridge, Ontario. It's also an American style IPA, Canadian style IPA. 6.4 is the ABV. It says here at the back, inspired by late night stories around the fire, Muskoka Mad Tom will instantly grab your attention. Dry hopped with Chinook and Centennial hops, this IPA has a vibrant aroma, depth, flavour and crisp citrusy undertow like no other. So brace yourself and crack one open for old Mad Tom. So different beer, different types of hops they use. Let's see what this one's all about. Yeah, I don't really know much about this beer, and I bought it. I bought just one bottle to get out of a 6-pack. If I like it, I'll definitely pick it up again in the future because I think it's a regular beer nowadays. It's a fairly new brew too. It came out a few months ago. Alright, so it looks like a typical American style IPA. This is actually the palest out of the 3 IPAs I've had so far this month and last month. So it looks more like an American IPA. Slightly cloudy, kind of medium amber, golden kind of body. Very nice, fairly rich head there, and quite some bubbles. Alright, so this is citrus and a little bit of pine. This is a more kind of, I guess, typical good quality American IPA. Similar to maybe the Punk IPA from Brewdog, which is not an American IPA, but it's an American style beer. Very fresh kind of scent you get. And in this case, the hops kind of dominate over the malt components. But you get some malts, you get a bit of toffee and caramel, but in the spotlight, it's all about citrus and a bit of pine. So cheers, Mad Tom IPA. Let's try it. It's an excellent beer. Starts out with a good hop bite. First you get a bit of pine, and then it goes straight to citrus, and then closer to the kind of end aftertaste, closer to the finish. It's a very kind of juicy texture. It gets a bit tart, and it's very lovely. It blends well with the sweetness. Excellent. Very similar, I guess, to the Dogfish 60-minute IPA. At least my initial impression is very similar, and I had that a few years ago for the first time, and I still remember it. Oh, this just made my day. I mean, another really good quality, tasty Canadian IPA, moreover it's one from Ontario. A lot of beer vloggers that live in Ontario have been complaining about the absence of good IPAs. I don't think that's the case anymore, guys. I think you're all pretty much settled. You're all sorted for good IPAs. So I'm kind of jealous now. Although I've got to say I might move back to Toronto for a few years starting next year. I'll see if I get a job there. What else can I say about this beer before taking a break? It doesn't stand out to a point of being like unique or very, very creative as far as the actual brew goes, but there's nothing wrong with it. It's just very, very, spot on. It's very good. It's a proper IPA. It's a top job thing. Not too dry, not too bitter, hoppy enough, sweet enough, but it's excellent. Goes down fairly smooth, and it's not too thick. I don't taste alcohol. And I'm guessing more grapefruit and orange. Excellent beer. I'm going to come back to you in a few moments and conclude. But yeah, I'm really impressed. Yeah, this is excellent. I'm loving this beer. Haven't found anything wrong with it still, and it's just a very, very good drinkable, sessionable beer. I checked back the prices. It's a bit in the pricier side, especially for Toronto, and especially if you compare it to American prices. This is $13.45 to $13.50 for a 6-pack. It's a bit expensive even for Canada, and even though I got this bottle for like $2 something, so that was a good deal. But I'm still looking forward to having this again, and if by any chance anyone from Muskoka Brewery is watching this, great job, guys. Really, really impressive beer. So once again, I'm going to talk about it. Lovely citrus hoppiness. You get a bit of astringency at the back from that kind of grapefruit, zesty thing. Good amount of sweetness to balance it all. A bit less body than I guess an average IPA, but that's a good thing in this case because it doesn't get hefty. It's a very drinkable beer, even at 6.4% ABV. I think I could call it sessionable, unlike the Red Racer IPA, which is great, but it's just a little too dry. This is not going to attack your palate aggressively with hops, even though it's 62 IBUs, which is still fairly high. If you want to try an IPA, an American IPA, and you've never had anything of that sort, this is a perfect example of style, even though it's Canadian. I can assure you that there's everything that you expect in the style is here. I'm still going to give this an 8 though, because I've given 8s for the other 2 beers, and I think at the end when I finish, I have 2 more IPAs coming up. When I finish the whole series, the whole sequence, I'm going to probably pick the top 3 out of 5 or 6. But so far I'm liking this a bit more than the previous 2, even though those were more experimental and everything, but this is just, it's very consistent, and that's something I really appreciate in a beer. So Matin IPA from Muskoka Brewery, 8 out of 10, really recommend it if you can find it, especially the folks in Toronto. Alright guys, that's all I've got to say for this review. Stick's good beer, see you next time, bye, cheers.